Part 3. The Art of Commanding Spirits. Chapter 9. The Book of the Art Almadel. The Magical Talisman. The Book of the Art Almadel of Solomon. The Art Almadel consists of the fourth book of the work attributed to Solomon, king of Israel, entitled the Lemegeton. As in the case of other sorcerers' handbooks, the magician was expected to possess a copy written on virgin parchment with his own hand. Several copies exist in manuscript form in the larger research libraries of Oxford, London, and Paris. In spite of a very thorough search, I have been unable to locate a printed copy of the Almadel as such. In the cases where extracts have been published, it would appear that these are taken from less complete sources than, for example, the 17th century handwritten codex numbered Sloane 2731 in the British Museum. Some 40 years ago, it is true, there was some account of the Almadel published by a British writer. Unfortunately, this was not a verbatim transcript. Stranger still, although attributed to the same original source, Sloane 2731, the published version differed considerably from the original. It must be concluded that what is represented as copied from this early Lemegeton has, in fact, been derived from a secondary source. In order to remedy this defect, as well as to fill the gap in knowledge of this important text, I am therefore reproducing the entire original text here. Briefly, it may be said that the Art Almadel is a complete process of ritual magic by means of which a spirit is made to appear and obey the magician. This is accomplished with the actual Almadel, a talisman of wax, plus a certain seal made from precious metal, and a knowledge of the names and powers of certain angels. It is a ritual of what is conventionally known as white magic, both because it does not involve the use of blasphemy, the conjuring of demons and the like, and because the operator is specifically warned that it may not be used for unlawful purposes. In origin and probably in conception, the process is Jewish. Unlike many other rites which became popular in the Middle Ages, there are no Christian interpolations. The sequence of the ritual is thus. The operator must obtain wax and certain coloured dyes. With these he makes the Almadel talisman and candles. Then he makes the seal in gold or silver. He must have powdered mastic, Pistachia lentiscus, a form of the pistachio nut tree. In the British Isles, this shrub is grown on sheltered walls. The mastic, which will serve as his incense, and robes in the colours of the choir or altitude of spirits whom he is to invoke. Virgin parchment, a vessel to contain the incense, and live coals complete the equipment. The operator first makes the Almadel, then the seal. After this, he calls the appropriate angel or angels at the time and on the day of their rulership, information which is supplied to him in the book. After the invocation, which is read from the parchment, the angel is supposed to manifest itself and a dialogue ensues. The angel is saluted and praised, and finally begged to aid the magician, which he agrees to do. In the case of any difficulty in materialization of the spirit, the candles are touched with the metal seal, whereupon he obeys and appears. The actual text is as follows, although minor adjustments in punctuation have been made to facilitate reading. Here beginneth the Art Almadel of Solomon. By this art Solomon attained great wisdom from the chief angels that govern the 4 altitudes of the world. For you must observe that there are 4 altitudes which represent the 4 altitudes of the west, east, north, and south, the which is divided into 12 parts, that is, every part 3. And the angels of every of these parts hath their particular virtues and powers, as shall be showed in the following matter. Making the talisman. Make this almadel of pure white wax. Note, white wax is used for calling spirits of the eastern altitude. But the others must be coloured suitable to the altitudes. It is to be 4 inches square and 6 inches over every way, and in every corner a hole, and write betwixt and every hole with a new pen those words and names of God following. But this is to be done in the clay and hour of Sol, the sun. Write upon the first part towards the east, Adonij, Helomi, Pine, and upon the second towards the south part, Helion, Heloi, Heli, and upon the west part, Jod, Hod, Agla, and on the fourth part, which is north, write Tetragrammaton, Shaddai, Jah. And betwixt the first and other parts make the pentacle of Solomon. And betwixt the first quarter write this word Anabona, and in the middle of the almadel make a sexangle figure, and in the middle of it a triangle, wherein must be written these names of God, Hel, Helion, Adonij, and this last have round about the 6-angled figure. The making of the candles. And of the same wax there must be made 4 candles, and they must be of the same colour as the almadel is of. Divide your wax into 3 parts, 1 to make the almadel of, and the other 2 parts to make the candles of. And let there come forth from every one of them a foot made of the same wax to support the almadel. The making of the seal. This being done, in the next place you are to make a seal of pure gold or silver, but gold is best, whereon must be engraved those 3 names Helion, Heluion, Adonij. The first altitude of angels and their calling. And note that the first altitude is called Cora Orientis, or the east altitude. And to make an experiment in this Cora, it is to be done in the day and hour of the sun. And the power and office of those angels is to make all things fruitful, and increase both animals and vegetables in creation and generation, advancing the birth of children, and making barren women fruitful. And their names are these, viz. Alimiel, Gabriel, Barachiel, Lebes, Helison. And note, you must not pray for any angel but those that belong to the altitude you have a desire to call forth. And when you operate, set the 4 candles upon 4 candlesticks, but be careful you do not light them before you begin to operate. Then lay the almadel between the 4 candles upon a waxen foot that comes from the candles, and lay the golden seal upon the almadel, and having the invocation ready written upon virgin parchment, light the candles and read the invocation. Appearance of the angel. And when he appeareth in the form of an angel carrying in his hand a banner or flag, having the picture of a white cross upon it, his body being wrapped round with a fair cloud, and his face very fair and bright, and a crown of rose flowers upon his head. He ascends first upon the superscription on the almadel, as it were a mist or fog. Then must the exorcist have ready a vessel or earth of the same colour as the almadel is of, and the other of his furniture, it being in the form of a basin, and put thereinto a few hot ashes or coals, but not too much lest it should melt the wax of the almadel. And put therein 3 little grains of mastic in powder, so that it may fume and the smell go upwards through the holes of the almadel when it is under it. And as soon as the angel smelleth it, he beginneth to speak with a low voice, asking what your desire is, and what you have called the princes and governors of this altitude for. Then you must answer him, saying, I desire that all my requests may be granted, and what I pray for may be accomplished. For your office maketh it appear and declareth that such is to be fulfilled by you, if it please God. Adding further the particulars of your request, praying with humility for what is lawful and just, and that thou shalt obtain from him. But if he do not appear presently, then you must obtain the golden seal, and make with it 3 or 4 marks upon the candles, by which means the angel will presently appear as aforesaid. And when the angel departeth, he will fill the whole place with a sweet and pleasant smell, which will be smelled for a long time. And note, the golden seal will serve and is used in all the operations of the 4 altitudes. The colour of the altitude belonging to the first altitude, or kora, is lily white. The second kora, a perfect red rose colour. The third kora is to be a green mixed with a white silver colour. The fourth kora is to be black mixed with a little green or a sad colour. Of the second kora, or altitude. Note that the other 3 altitudes, with their signs and princes, can exert power over goods and riches, and can make any man rich or poor. And as the first kora gives increase and maketh fruitful, so these give decrease and barrenness. And if any have a desire to operate in any of these 3 following koras or altitudes, they must do it in die solis, Sunday, in the manner above showed. Times of operation and prohibitions. But do not pray for anything that is against God and his laws, but what God giveth according to the custom or course of nature, that you may desire and obtain. All the furniture to be used is to be of the same colour the almudel is of. Note, furniture here stands for the accessories or items used in the process, robes, wax, and so forth. Princes of the second altitude. And the princes of the second kora are named, viz. Apharizah, Genon, Geron, Armon, Gereamon. And when you operate, kneel before the almudel with clothes of the same colour, in a closet hung with the same colours also, for the holy apparition will be of the same colours. And when he appeareth, put an earthen vessel under the almudel, with fire or hot ashes, and 3 grains of mastic to perfume as aforesaid. And when the angel smelleth it, he turneth his face towards you, asking the exorcist with a low voice why he hath called the princes of this kora or altitude. Then you must answer, as before, I desire that my requests may be granted, and the contents thereof may be accomplished, for your office maketh it appear and declareth that such is to be done by you, if it please God. And you must not be fearful, but speak humbly, saying, I recommend myself wholly to your office, and I pray unto you, Prince of this altitude, that I may enjoy and obtain all things according to my wishes and desires. And you may further express your mind in all particulars in your prayer, and do the like in the 2 other koras following. The angel of the second altitude appeareth in the form of a young child, with clothes of a satin, and of a red rose colour, having a crown of red gillyflowers upon his head. His face looketh upwards to heaven, and is of a red colour, and is compassed round about with a bright splendour as the beams of the sun. Before he departeth, he speaketh unto the exorcist, saying, I am your friend and brother. And illuminateth the air round about with his splendour, and leaveth a pleasant smell which will last a long time upon their heads. Of the third kora or altitude. In this kora you must do in all things as you was before directed in the other 2. The angels in this altitude are named, viz. Elephaniasai, Gelomeros, Gedobonai, Taranava, and Elomina. They appear in the form of little children or little women, dressed in green and silver colours, very delightful to behold, and a crown of bay leaf with white and colours upon their heads. And they seem to look a little downwards with their faces, and they speak as the others do to the exorcist, and leave a mighty sweet perfume behind them. Of the fourth kora or altitude. In this kora you must do as before in the others, and the angels in this kora are called Barkachiel, Gediel, Gediel, Deliel, and Capitiel. Note, some versions lack the second Gediel. They appear in the form of little men or boys, with clothes of a black colour mixed with a dark green, and in their hands they hold a bird which is naked, and their heads compassed round about with a bright shining of diverse colours. They leave a sweet smell behind them, but differ from the others something. The times to invoke the angels. Note that there is 12 princes, besides those in the 4 altitudes, and they distribute their offices amongst themselves, every one ruling 30 days every year. Now it will be in vain to call any of the angels, unless it be those that govern them. For every kora or altitude hath its limited time, according to the 12 signs of the zodiac. And in that sign the sun is in that, or those angels belong to that sign hath the government. As, for example, suppose that I would call the 2 first, or the 5 that belong to the first kora. Then choose the first Sunday in March after the sun hath entered Aries, and then I make an experiment, i.e. the first Sunday after March the 22nd. And so do the like, if you will, the next Sunday after again. And if you will call the 2 second that belong to the first kora, that Sunday after the sun enters Taurus in April, after the 21st. But if you will call the last of the 5, then you must take those Sundays that are in May after the sun has entered Gemini, after the 22nd, to make your experiment in. Do the like in the other altitudes, for they have all one way of working. But the altitudes have names formed severally in the substance of the heavens, even a character. For when the angels hear the names of God that is attributed to them, they hear it by virtue of that character. Therefore it is in vain to call any angel or spirit unless he knows what name to call him by. Therefore observe the form of this conjuration or invocation following. Invocation to call angels or spirits. O thou great, blessed, and glorious angel of God, naming the angel, who rulest and is the chief governing angel in the number of altitude, kora or altitude. I am the servant of the highest, the same your God Adonai, Helomi, and Pine, whom you do obey, and is your distributor and disposer of all things both in heaven, earth, and hell, do invocate, conjure, and entreat you, name of angel, that thou forthwith appear in the virtue and power of the same God, Adonai, Helomi, and Pine. And I do command thee by him whom ye do obey, and is set over you as king in the divine power of God, that you forthwith descend from thy orders or place of abode to come unto me, and show thyself visibly here before me in this crystal stone, in thy own proper shape and glory, speaking with a voice intelligible to my understanding. O thou mighty and powerful angel, name of angel, who art by the power of God ordained to govern all animals, vegetables, and minerals, and to cause them and all creatures of God to spring increase and bring forth according to their kinds and natures, I, the servant of the Most High God whom you obey, do entreat and humbly beseech thee to come from your celestial mansion, and show unto me all things I shall desire of you, so far as in office you may or can or is capable to perform, if God permit to the same. O thou servant of mercy, name, I do humbly entreat and beseech thee by these holy and blessed names of your God, Adonai, Helomi, Pine. And I do also constrain you in and by this powerful name, Anabona, that you forthwith appear visibly and plainly in your own proper shape and glory, in and through this crystal stone, that I may visibly see you, and audibly hear you speak unto me, and that I may have thy blessed and glorious angelic assistance, familiar friendship and constant society, community and instruction, both now and at all times, to inform and rightly instruct me in my ignorance and depraved intellect, judgment and understanding, and to assist me both herein and in all other truths also, through the Almighty Adonai, King of kings, the giver of all good gifts that his bountiful and fatherly mercy be graciously pleased to bestow upon me. Therefore, O blessed angel, name, be friendly unto me, so far as God shall give you power and presence to appear, that I may sing with his holy angels. O Mapa Laman, Hallelujah, Amen. Greeting to the Spirit. When he appears, give him or them kind entertainment, and then ask what is just and lawful, and that which is proper and suitable to his office, and you shall obtain it. So endeth the fourth book, called the Almadel of Solomon the King.